anyway, it organizes them. So there are three major types of boundaries and rules. The healthy one, of course, is clear and appropriate boundaries. Then we're going to talk about very rigid boundaries. And then we're going to talk about fused. So those are the three kinds. Clear boundaries are healthy. Diffuse and rigid boundaries are not. Need to get a balance. Okay, so let's talk about clear rules. These are the ideal arrangement between subsystems and supersystems. These are firm and yet flexible rules. There's a balance between a system being supportive and nurturing and inclusive. Okay, do you hear those themes? Which we think of as cohesion, closeness, right? Support, nurturing, and being inclusive. But on the other hand, there also has to be freedom to experiment, individuals, and there has to be individuation and be one's own person on the other hand. So that balance between being connected and being separate, all at the same time. Families have to figure out how to do that. And we don't always get it right. Access across subsystems to negotiate and accommodate situational and developmental challenges. What that means is that parents and kids can talk, they can figure things out, they can negotiate, and the parents can do that as well. They can figure out how to co-parent. They can come together even when they're having differences about parenting or discipline. They can come to an agreement on what to do about that and maybe not fight and carry on and in front of the kids, or even worse, say to one of the kids, "Don't worry about that. We'll do what we want. Just pretend like we're going to have you not watch TV for a week. But we won't do that because that's stupid. Your dad is just crazy if he does that." Right? You see that kind of undermining that might go on? And it aligns the mom with the child against the dad and paints the dad. That kind of thing happens all the time. Not functional. What would be great is if mom and dad could work that out and say, boy, we sure disagree here on how this should go. And so, here's what we're going to do. Matt and I have those conversations because I can tend to be a lot less rigid. No, he's not rigid, but he does have a lot more rules than I do. He grew up with more rules than I did. And Griffin needs those rules because, man, mine probably don't help him. Related to money, related to responsibility, related to yard work. Yeah, Matt expects him to work. I'm kind of like, oh, honey, I know you're busy. Right? So what I try to do to myself is say that, oh, honey, I know you're busy, and say to myself, okay, I can't do that because Matt's trying to teach this boy how to work. That's got to come from us. If he doesn't learn that from us, I don't know that he'll learn it. And so then I say, I know you're busy, Griffin, so when are you going to be able to do, when are you going to be able to mow? Matt will say, you got to mow right now. But so I'm trying to find a balance between you got to mow right now to you don't have to mow at all because you poor thing, you're so busy, to okay, when are you going to fit it in? You got to do it, maybe you can decide when. You see what I mean? So, just in talking about the lawn, you have balances that you have to work out. So just imagine big things for families and why that doesn't always go right, and how very helpful it can be to come into a counselor and get help with that balance.
Would you say it's good to talk about it in front of the kids or not? Because we tend to have that conversation in front of ours, like where we'll kind of go back and forth and let them hear how we mediate it.
I love
Other
that.
people don't like that.
No, 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 I think that can be really healthy for kids, especially if you're not saying, look, you idiot, my way is the right way. I mean, when you're communicating in an appropriate way, it is so important for kids to learn how to negotiate and how to have conflict and how to resolve it. And I think that kind of modeling is fantastic. When people aren't able to do that, though, then might be better to do that in private first and hash through it in an aggressive way if they need to bring it back. But boy, anytime you can demonstrate that for kids, I think that's a marvelous thing. It's a gift. It's a gift for them. So, what we do is we help families change their structure, their rules, and their roles. We increase the frequency of communication between subsystems, and at times decrease it too, I can say. You know, have you ever seen kids and parents that are over-involved, and there's way too much communication going on there, and you kind of need to pull them back? Yeah. I can remember at one point really processing with Griffin something about Cheerios, and he wanted a new box of Cheerios. There was already a box open, so I was trying to explain to him why he couldn't have a new box of cereals because there was an old box of cereals. Anyway, I finally had to say, oh my God, what am I doing here? I don't have to talk about this with Griffin. I can just say no. No.